thunderstorms. This you're going to experience much greater. The hurricane is expected to bring 10 inches or more of rain to our area. And because we're on the east side of the eye, there's a possibility of tornadoes. There's a tornado watch in St. Tammany until 7 p.m. tonight. Yesterday, we opened 2 shelters for the general public. They remain open. Creekside Junior High School in the Pearl River area. It's a general population and electrical dependent shelter. And Lee Road Junior High School north of Covington is a general population shelter as well. You must bring your own food, water, and bedding. But it's getting kind of late to leave to get to a shelter. What else can our citizens expect due to the effects of the storm? Local roadways will be inundated and impassable because of high water and downed trees and downed power lines. Widespread power outages for an extended period of time, and inland and riverine flooding. We are monitoring rivers throughout St. Tammany Parish, and most are at current levels below flood stage, but have predicted crest flood stages in the days to come. The Defuncta River near Covington, it's expected to crest at 28 feet, which puts it in major flood stage. That's the gauge at Highway 190 near Goodby, Defuncta River near Covington, in the Goodby area. The Bogafly River at Boston Street, it's expected to crest at 15 feet on Tuesday at 8 a.m. These numbers can change as the amount of rain is determined. The Bogafly River near Camp Covington, that's off of 25 near St. Joseph Abbey and River Road. It's expected to crest at 56 feet on Tuesday morning, which is at critical flood levels. Other rivers, Abita River at Abita Springs, Bogachita near Bush, Pearl River near I-59, and Pearl River near Pearl River. We continue to monitor and will provide information on those rivers as that information is obtained. During and after Hurricane Ida passes, if you're using generators, please use outside only to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. And please avoid sightseeing after the storm, as there may be high water, downed trees, and power lines. Help your neighbors in time of need, now and after the storm. We have contact information for our citizens who need to report. 985-898-2323, 985-898-2323. We have stakeholders representing law enforcement, first responders, DOTD, utilities, faith-based, and other agencies that are here to serve and respond immediately. For true emergencies, please call 911. A flash flood watch remains in St. Tammany through Tuesday at 7 a.m. Of course, tomorrow, Monday, we announced closings before. Schools, North Shore Technical Community College, parish government offices, St. Tammany Parish Justice Center, parish libraries, and I'm sure many others will be closed tomorrow based on the effects of the storm. Out of abundance of precaution, Meadow Lake and French Branch Estates in the Slidell area are under a boil advisory, a water boil advisory, due to a power outage. The electric provider is en route to restore power as quick as possible. I'm announcing at this time that I have signed an executive order declaring a parish-wide curfew effective at 12 noon today. It's parish-wide, including all municipalities. While the curfew is in effect, the only vehicles allowed on the streets within the parish shall be those necessary to address life-threatening emergencies and those vehicles under the direction of first responders and utilities. Please, I urge all of our citizens to heed these precautions, as it will be dangerous. Dangerous winds, dangerous gusts, rising water down power lines. This curfew is enacted out of the public safety, health, and welfare of our citizens, and it will be effective until the danger of Hurricane Ida has passed and a new executive order is enacted to lift the restrictions. And I'm sure Sheriff Smith will provide information regarding the enforcement of that. I'd like to say that we are prepared for immediately after the storm. We have what we call our push contractors on standby. They have mobilized equipment and are prepared to push or remove debris from our roadways, particularly our heavily traveled major roadways, so that emergency vehicles and those that need to be out on the roads and byways are able to move through. Ida relief funds have been set up. I'm just going to give that information now so that we can push that information. The United Way of Southeast Louisiana, their website is unitedwaysela.org/Ida Relief. And the North Shore Community Foundation, northshorefoundation.org. I'm sure people are going to want to support and help those in need, and those are two ways to do so. At this time, I'm going to turn over to Sheriff Smith for his comments. Thank you.
Thank you, President Cooper. This is common sense, folks, common sense, and we need to follow these rules that are being put in place. Let this storm pass. We're expecting flooding down in the lower lying areas of Lake Pontchartrain, again, throughout St. Tammany Parish. Trees down, power outages, and power lines down. We appreciate the curfew. I've been in touch with the mayors, municipalities, law enforcement, fire chiefs, and also all first responders, because we're working together. Once this storm passes, we will be eligible to go out and provide rescues for people who are stranded, trapped, and need emergency services. Once the storm is gone through and it's safe, we will respond to those emergencies. If you need us, call 911. After that, we will do a damage assessment. We will be out and about doing damage assessment, videotaping and taking pictures of the areas most damaged here in St. Tammany Parish. We are here through the duration. If you're at home, stay off the streets. This is very important for first responders when we are trying to provide safety to not only your property, but to lives here in St. Tammany Parish that may be affected from this storm. The worst is among us and should be here in the next couple hours. Again, we are doubled up and ready. We have our high water equipment, high water vehicles, our boats, and other resources available to work with us to provide these safety measures. Thank the media for covering this story, all our first responders, our EOC, and the people of St. Tammany Parish. We know you're going to be dedicated to listen. We've been through this before. We'll get through it. And again, preparing for the worst and hope for the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. And by all means, our St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Department is prepared, experienced. They've been through this before. We've all been through this before. and we appreciate the coordination and cooperation with our sheriffs, law enforcement agencies, and all of the agencies. Yesterday, we had a press conference here that included representatives, mayors of our municipalities, fire districts, and others. We're all prepared and working to assist our citizens. I did want to make mention before ask Clarence to come is if I did not already do so, in anticipation of damages to your homes, I ask our citizens to email damage@stpgov.org. That's DAMAGE@stpgov.org. That's a means of reporting to us your damage of your homes. You can also are urged to contact your insurance company as well. This will allow us to receive information along with the sheriff's assessment of properties, and we'll be doing self-assessments as well. At this time, Clarence Poe.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. So we're here to face with another monster right in front of us, okay? So we've seen this before, like you've heard. This is not our first rodeo, okay? Now, we know we're looking at right now, as the storm approaches us, right now we're starting to see effects of the storm on the east side of the parish. In some areas, we're already seeing some gusts up to 50 miles an hour. So from here on out, conditions will continue to deteriorate over the next few hours, okay? Can't stress it enough. Pay attention to what's going on, especially with this event where you have the combination of so many different things, the storm surge, okay, the rain is there. With the storm surge coming in, the river's not able to continue to flow out of the bayous and everything, and the banks overflow. Pay attention to those, especially if you live on the rivers. We'll continue to monitor those, and we'll still continue to push out updates. But we want you to stay safe. If you have things, the ELC is activated as of 7 p.m. last night, and will continually be activated all the way through until we go into recovery. And then even into recovery, we'll still be activated. If you have issues during the storm to where you did not evacuate, and you need to report things far as the water's coming up in my house, I didn't anticipate that because you didn't leave. There's trees down. Then if you call those into the ELC, we're going to record those because that gives us a better idea of what happens after the storm passes. What areas do we need to focus on right after that? Where do we need to send the damage assessment teams? Because we want to make sure that we get out there and be ready to go right after the storm passes. I can't stress enough about all of our first responders. They are out there right now. They provide a tremendous service to us, all of us in St. Tammany Parish. But also we want to make sure that they are not out there in harm's way. So when we get these sustained winds coming in, the tropical storm force winds, and they're sustained, then of course they're going to pull in, they're going to button the hatches because we need them after the storm. So continue to stay weather vigilant. Make sure you know exactly what's going on around you. Pay attention, okay? Report different things, okay? And if you did not evacuate at this point, we're getting to the point to where we still got just a couple of more hours, but hey, it's going to get to the point to where you need to go ahead, make a decision on exactly where you're going to stay, and go ahead and shelter in place. Stay safe, especially my first responders out there. I appreciate you guys. I'm proud of every one of you out there. Everybody here in the parish, citizens, first responders, stay safe, and we'll get through this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Clarence. I'd also like to note that we've been notified that the causeway is closing at 11 o'clock. Is that correct? Each of us has just emphasized how important it is to take our precautions with this enormous storm heading our way. This is a Cat 4 storm making landfall in just a bit, and while it may reduce to a Cat 3 or Cat 2 by the time it gets up our way, it is still a dramatic storm and one that we have to reckon with. Again, we can experience flooding in areas that have flooded before and even areas that haven't flooded before. We can experience downed trees and power outages for extended periods of time. We've asked our citizens to prepare for days and days of extended power outages. We can anticipate that, and our power companies have been mobilized with assets spread around our parish so that they're able to respond as quick as possible after the storm passes. But we all know that power is not immediately restored, even though we have immediate response to getting that done. Our public works departments, all of our St. Tammany Parish government departments are on standby and are mobilized afterwards also to make damage assessments to our public properties and also to our roadways so that we can open the roadways as soon as possible. Our main concern is the health, safety, and welfare of our citizens. Yes, we care about property, but number one is our citizens. And we ask that you stay off the streets, stay home, stay with your families, watch the weather, and take all the precautions necessary. The heaviest weather may come during the dark hours tonight and early in the morning, so we won't be able to see what's going on. Stay vigilant. Call us if you need us. We're here to serve to the extent that we can, and this will be our last live report until after the storm. We'll be sending messages out if we receive new information, but we'll try to convene as soon as possible after the storm passes to give an update. I thank you all very much, and we'll be open for a few questions. To the sheriff, to Clarence, or myself.
You mentioned that
Erica?
Tornadoes are of course possible because we're on the eastern side. If anyone gets that alert that there's a tornado near them, what advice do you have? What part of the house should they go to make sure they're safe?
Well, of course, the interior of the house is the most safe place to go in the event of a tornado warning. The bathrooms, the bathtub. But yes, if you hear any alerts or even strong gust winds from the hurricane, please go to the interior of your house.
Do you know how full the shelters are right now? And is there anyone else you would recommend trying to get to a shelter now before we start getting the severe weather?
I believe it's towards the end of time trying to get into a shelter. I do not know if each of them are at capacities. Both of them are gymnasiums, high school, junior high gymnasiums. I do not know if they're at capacities. I don't think many people utilize shelters. We've encouraged shelter in place for some time, and I think people know when they need to get out.
Can you talk about generator safety? That was a big problem after Hurricane Laura and Lake Charles caused a lot of deaths. Can you kind of talk about that and what people need to know?
Yes, particularly the portable generators, actually, with that could be placed inside that run on gas or diesel. Please do not put them inside your homes. They're meant to be outside, and it causes carbon monoxide, and it's a silent killer. So please do not, even under carports or garages, please do not put generators inside. When I spoke to Governor Edwards 2 days ago, he urged me to, and thanks for bringing it up, he urged me to share that because we've experienced across the state after storms and those who use generators, many of the casualties are due to deaths for the carbon monoxide from generators in proper use.
A lot of people will want to sightsee, and I know you said please don't do that. Will there be any enforcement on the roadways to make sure folks don't go exploring?
That's the main reason for the curfew, and law enforcement and first responders, we actually help request a curfew. We're not trying to take your rights away, but it makes life a lot easier and a lot safer for not only the public, for our guys that are responding to calls for emergency service. So we will be out in full force as soon as we can be out there where it's not a safety issue to our deputies, and we will be enforcing the curfew. So To what extent, that depends on the individual we deal with. But for right now, we're just asking for some common sense and leniency towards what we have to do to keep our citizens safe. So we want you to heed to the warnings and to the curfew that's been put into place to help us stay safe.
I've heard several people say that the teams and utilities and crews won't go out if the winds reach like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, under 40, between 30 and 40. Once they drop below that, we know they're not going to come back and whip up again. We want our crews to be safe. So power outages that may take a while to get to, we don't know the extent yet. But most of our stores are closed in St. Tammany Parish. There's a few still open that will be closing shortly. So if you need to grab something, get it now and get off the street before noon. And again, we appreciate all the cooperation, and we just want to get through this. Thank you.
We experienced some gas shortages yesterday, as you may know. I do not know if that's been replenished to the extent there would be under normal circumstances. So we'll try to find out what the situation is. We have our own gas supplies for our own equipment for emergencies, but that could be a concern as after the storm passes, getting restored gasoline. I may have failed to mention, or I want to emphasize that CLECO, Washington St. Tammany Electric, and Entergy are prepared to mobilize and serve their customers, our citizens, immediately after the storm, after the winds subside to under 40 miles per hour. They're able to get out and do so. So that's, again, we would, while we want to make the push to get debris out of the roadways for the electrical and other service organizations to get through, another reason why our general public needs to stay out until we can get power restored and get our roadways cleaned up. Any other questions? I thank you all very much. Stay safe. I ask our public to stay safe. You're in our prayers, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, at some point, to give everybody an update. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.